Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's episode of VENDO Velocity. We're super happy that you decided to join us today. I'm your host, Delaney Del Mundo, and this is our second episode of VENDO Velocity of the year, actually. And I'm excited to have our first guest of the year as well. No better person than to kick things off 2025 with, from a guest standpoint, than John Aspinall himself. I'm sure you all know him as the king of click-through rate. And he's a brand evangelist over at PickFu, so really leads strategy there. But John, I know we did a podcast in 2024, but would love if you could introduce yourself or just give an update for the audience here on who you are and what you do.
Can I live up to that intro? I don't really know. That was amazing. Thank you. But yeah, thanks for having me. John Aspinall, PickFu. PickFu is the gold standard for consumer, enterprise grade, consumer data, research, insights, all that kind of good stuff. 2024 was the year of compliance problems, I think, for a lot of brands on Amazon. But and a little bit of the main hero image, right? But I think for 2020, that was 2024, but 2025, I think a lot more brands are really going to be focusing on that click-through rate, because it all starts with the click, and then understanding different marketplaces, omnichannel, which we're going to get into a little bit today, where it's super important that just when someone says omnichannel, I know when I would hear omnichannel, I would get triggered. I'd be like, oh my God, I gotta be on every single marketplace, even if it doesn't sell. I just have to be there just to be there. You don't, right? Don't let anyone, whether it's an agency, a consultant, anything like that, you need to be where the attention for your product is. And we're going to talk about some different use cases with that, right? But yeah, I really truly think that in 2025 moving forward, people are a little burnt out from just running PPC and hitting their head against the wall because their tacos are through the roof, when really if they would just have a better hero image, you would get more clicks, you would have better conversion and all that kind of good stuff.
Absolutely. Yes. We want to definitely emphasize the organic optimizations, especially with the way in which Amazon is affecting P&Ls and continuing to increase FBA fees over the last few years, but also just increasing every fee under the sun, especially when it comes to logistics, inventory. So didn't think there was any better person than John to kind of kick things off and look at things more holistically. As John said, I think typically brands are either focused on one channel or they go almost too wide where there isn't that dedicated channel strategy across the board. So we're going to go into different channels today and take you through, one, how you could leverage PickFu, but really how you should be looking at these channels individually as well and optimizing accordingly. So John, let's kick things off because we talk about Amazon a lot on this podcast, but I want to touch a little bit on Walmart. I think it's probably underutilized, one from a PickFu standpoint, but also just from an optimization standpoint on how brands are approaching optimizations on Walmart.com. So can you kind of take us through what some best practices are there?
Yeah, go ahead. I'm going to share my screen and we're going to take a look at Walmart. Cool. So Delaney, this is going to be an interactive portion. So throw out a random product to me, and that's what we're going to take a look at and see what the landscape looks like.
Dog treats.
Dog treats. So original in the Amazon space.
Oh, yeah.
So dog treats, right? The way that merchandising looks on Walmart versus Amazon is very, very different. So when you take a look at, let's say, so these are ads over here. So let's take a look at this. So $4.98 for Vibrant Life Crunchy Valentine's Day biscuits. Do you know what those are? Right? Those could almost look like crackers for kids. Those don't really look like, if the idea is hearts, you're not showing that clearly. It's a bestseller, probably because there's no other product that's coming up in the search for something like that. But it's out of stock, so can't buy that either, right? So the important thing is, when I take a look, can I still see the PDP though? Yeah, great. So take a look at this. Isn't that better of a hero image than this one over here, right? Now, tactically, maybe they switched it because they're out of stock. I don't know. I don't really know the inner workings of Walmart and that kind of thing. But you could see, let's now bring the same one to Amazon and see. I always like to do these kind of exercises because it really shows you the difference between the two. and understanding if your product is indeed a Walmart product. So here they're not coming up, right? Which I don't know why, right? Perhaps I've never heard of a Walmart born brand where someone launches a brand on Walmart. I've historically heard that. It could just be a smaller brand overall. But let's say, for example, are we talking about best practices here? Is this saying the most that you can say? No. But historically, Walmart is a fan of the crisp and clean image. So Walmart typically curates it a little bit more and doesn't want the crazy infographics, the call outs, all those other kind of things. But from a basic structure standpoint, you would want to have your box as your hero image, because this tells me more, right? Which leads into why your packaging, because this is real packaging, right? This isn't a render or a mock-up, especially for something like Walmart, is why by the way, I hate that does that. That's annoying. But having good packaging is going to help you, because if you're not able to do post edits or alterations like you can with Amazon, if your real packaging says those call outs on them, then you're golden. But if you don't, and you have to rely on the post edits, then you're struggling. So what that looks like compared to Amazon is, let's say, dog treats. Oh, I looked under that specific one. I was going to say dog treats don't have a lot of call outs. But if you look on Amazon, there's going to be a ton of these call outs, right? There's going to have, beef liver right here. You're going to have the product outside the packaging. You're going to have this stamp right here. All this kind of stuff is post edit over here. That's 100% not on the package, even though it looks like it is. So when you're trying to do something with Walmart that's a little bit different with their merchandising, that's when you want to triple down on your real packaging to merchandise it accordingly. But again, Walmart doesn't have A+ content. It's called, Delaney, probably the phrase, is it rich media?
Yep, below the fold, rich media. Yep.
Below the photos, rich media. And it's typically not something that is easily done, meaning that you have to go through an agency that connects with a preferred partner and all these kind of things. I don't know why. So the reason I'm saying that is on Amazon, you have the breathing room to do the A+ content. It's a little bit more of a hurdle on Walmart, which is okay. That just means you really have to triple down in your stack over here. So like if I pull up another one, let's say Greenies, right? Because Greenies, everyone knows those. So you can see them. They aren't even showing the actual packaging, right? But they're showing super pack, right? Does that mean anything to me? No. Like, is there a super duper pack? Like, what does that mean? But Greenies doesn't care because they're Greenies. They don't have to. It's a monster brand. The reason I'm pointing this kind of stuff out is because you kind of want to take what other brands are doing and make them better. Kind of like with your Amazon product or your Walmart product or anything like that. You don't want to just carbon copy it. You want to make it better. So if I take a look at them, do they have rich media? No. And like, that's the thing, is because the way Walmart does the rich media, it makes it a little bit of a hurdle. Are you guys at VENDO doing a lot of rich media for Walmart clients? Or yeah. And you're finding that it's going to aid in the conversion more because it's very scarce. Yeah.
Right.
So that's the thing, right? If you're on Walmart, you'd want to be doing something like that because you're going to stand out. It's almost like being on Amazon and no one has A+ and you do. Like how great is that? So what we're talking about here too is, are you a Walmart product? So for something like this, yes, this translates apples to apples from Amazon to Walmart. Now, if I go into something a little bit niche-y, right? And yeah, Walmart's massive and Amazon's massive, but let's say I was to type in, I'm trying to think of something super niche-y that I would only buy on Amazon. Oh, how about Stanley straw covers? My wife has a million of these things all over the place. So Stanley straw covers, right? So you're going to
I didn't even know these existed, John.
Oh, please. There's a video on TikTok where someone got a spider in their straw and then it went viral and now everyone's saying, oh, you got to cover the straw.
Wow.
So you take a look over here, right, at the SERP on Walmart. It's a lot, but it's not as massive as the one that's on Amazon, right? So does that mean this is a good thing to do omni-channel for? I would say no. The reason I say no is not about the performance of how it's going to do. I equate it to what's going to do well on Walmart.com is typically the product that can also be sold in Walmart stores, because those customers are looking to buy what they've seen in the store, but just make it easier and get it shipped or anything like that. So this is typically not something you would find in a Walmart brick and mortar store. So, that leads me with my own educated decision to say that a typical Walmart brand, and now that doesn't mean you have to be sold in Walmart brick and mortar stores to be on .com. By no means you have to. But the good thing about running omni-channel and tapping into Walmart, Delaney, I don't know if you know this, but Walmart buyers are omni-channel buyers, meaning that they buy for .com and for the brick and mortar store. So Amazon, if you have, a product that's a win on Amazon, you just make money and that's it, right? But if you have a product that's a win on Walmart and it gets attention of buyers, you potentially have the opportunity to have a buyer reach out to you for brick and mortar positioning. And again, that's not a given, it's going to happen automatically, but think about how that would drastically change the landscape for your business. Now, brick and mortar totally changes the game. It comes with its own hurdle of problems and, more money, more problems, right? But a lot of brands like the idea of being, I can go to the store, physically pick up your product, hold it in my hand, especially things that are very tactile and, user friendly, right? So if you take a look at like, Squishmallow, right? So yeah. Squishmallow, my kids have all these things. These are annoying. Sorry, Squishmallow's watching. But understanding this, right? This is something people go to the store, they pick up, they feel. They're not going to know what it feels like otherwise. So this is a great product for brick and mortar. This is what Walmart would like when you have success on the .com to bring into brick and mortar. So think about that for your Walmart action plan and those kind of things, right?
Yeah, no, John's 100% right in that. We're now seeing merchants tell us until you're selling 25 units a week or 50 units a week, they're setting those guardrails on 3P before they even consider a brand on the 1P side to bring it in as owned inventory. But then on top of that, on what John's saying, there's a big unlock from having it available in stores because you're seeing that in specific categories. The OPD shopper, online pickup and delivery, amounts to as much as like 20 to 30% of total sales. So unfortunately for Walmart, the sales metrics are a little bit stickier just because of how they're attributing in-store versus online sales. But you could see that 20 to 30% of your store sales are actually being generated online first. So John, that's a great point there. I have a question on that, John, because I know within PickFu, you have audience testing for Walmart versus Amazon, and you can narrow it down there. Are you seeing the customers behave differently, specifically within like these main image or click tests?
Yeah. So I would like to say I have more data on it, but we have this in here in PickFu, right? So, online shopping marketplace, Walmart.com, right? So now when you run this poll, whatever you're running, it's going to run specifically for people who shop on Walmart. What we're finding is not a lot of brands or agencies are using it for testing. Mm-hmm. What they're doing is they're just saying, hey, I'm on Amazon, slap it on Walmart. Hey, I'm over here, slap it over there. And I think that that's a huge miss because it's the Walmart onboarding process and getting set up in the portal. It's simple, but it's a lot of work. It's another marketplace to manage. If you have an agency like VENDO, it's another added cost. That's obviously going to be a value, right? But it's another added cost and stuff like that. So you don't want to be someplace where you're not going to make any traction, right? So with PickFu, you can say, okay, here's my product. If you were shopping on Walmart.com, would you buy this? Yes or no? And getting feedback from actual people who shop on Walmart that are going to probably say yes or probably say no. So understanding that, what is the Walmart buyer looking like versus a typical Amazon buyer? And that's usually where your own data comes in, or what I like to do, big fan of like AI, right? So I can go to Perplexity, which is hands down the best one in my opinion. And you could say, what is the ICP in detail of a typical Amazon.com shopper versus a Walmart.com shopper, right? And now what this is going to do is it's going to take real sources, real data that's out there on the internet, analyze it, and then give you back the information about what those ICPs look like. Like Delaney, I'm sure you guys have tons of information, tons of data of what's worked in the past, but you'll probably get to a point where it's like, you'll have a brand or a category, or like, well, we don't know. Let's just run it and see, right? And it's hard to do that when you don't have the information. So you could see here, Perplexity, based on all this data points, are saying typical ICP for Amazon, 60 to 70% female, with male shoppers dominating electronics. Age, largest cohort is millennials, right? Income, almost 40% is over 100K annually. 30% between 50 to 100K. And, psychology behind this. But look at the difference in Walmart. Majority is 60 to 78 years old. Mm-hmm. That's typically the Walmart from the data that we're seeing here. And income is between 40 to 80K with 30%. So you could see here, if you're a higher price point item, typically that's not in the realm of the ICP for Walmart. But then even more so, how does your product fit with an older audience? If you're selling something hip and rad and cool, I'm old, I'm saying rad and cool, something like that, is it going to resonate? Or, right, do you now know if the majority is that, and we're looking at Squishmallows, right? Now that you understand who that ICP is, when you click on, sorry, Squishmallows, I clicked on an ad, but if you click over here in your image stack, are you showing that ICP with how they would use it? So if it's an older audience, grandma and grandpa buying Squishmallow for their grandkids. So understanding the data helps you make better creative assets and decisions, because okay, what it's going to be. And then 56% of sales comes from groceries. So if you're a consumable product, right, and we're going to get into that. I'm going to move up TikTok. I'm going to move back TikTok for a second, put up Instacart.
Sounds good.
When you're looking at that, right, understanding that a bunch of it's coming from groceries, almost 60% of sales are coming from groceries and consumables, right? So understanding that, where do we land when it comes to that? So if I go over here, and we're gonna do the same Amazon and Walmart, but we're gonna do Walmart and Instacart. If I go here, give me something in your fridge, Delaney. Well, what do you have something sitting in your fridge right now?
Strawberries.
Strawberries. Okay. So I go to Walmart and I look at strawberries, right? Dude, I just wanted strawberries. I didn't want strawberry, banana, nothing, right? So I definitely don't want lemons. So it's important that whoever's doing your ads, especially on Walmart, dude, I didn't want lemons. Even though seedless lemons sounds pretty interesting, but still, coming down here, we see strawberries. So you see here that this is more of a commodity kind of thing. So it's going to be a little bit different for the merchandising, but you could see here how this looks. You're going to have great value, all that kind of stuff. But now if I go, great segue to Instacart, right? Or as my grandma calls it, Instant Cart. You go to Instacart, and if I look at strawberries, right? Now what's going to happen is I'm able to see where you land in these catalogs across different stores.
Right.
So that's super important. So to me, the Aldi strawberries look better than the ones that are sitting in the plastic container, and probably cheaper too. Shout out Aldi. But taking a look at this right now, let's take a look at something that's not so commoditized. Let's take a look at like something like granola bar, right? So granola bar. Now you see these ads up here. Delaney, I don't think people realize that Instacart does ads. They do PPC. They do, like, this is a marketplace, but for food, because the thing is, no one has time anymore to go to the grocery store. We got 3 kids, a dog, 2 cats, probably a monkey and a chimpanzee soon. I don't know. So we just order right from the phone, Instacart. And when I'm looking at Instacart, I'm not looking at the store. I think that's important for people to realize. I'm not looking at the store. I'm looking at the offering. So I don't care if Chewy's going to come from ShopRite or from Stop and Shop, but it is interesting that this is the best seller there, right? And that's a little bit outside the control, but you could see how that kind of changes. But also look at this over here as far as these call outs. So that's interesting to me. Now, again, I don't know the inner workings of Instacart, if that's something that as a post edit they're doing, but I do think that, you know, if you have the capability to change outside the images outside of the main hero image, that this is worthwhile doing. But just sticking from the hero image by itself, look at the boxes that are dead on versus the angled ones. It's little things in psychology that are important. The things that are dead on, they have a call to action over here. The things that aren't kind of are tilted this way. So when I go to look at Costco, that's kind of a one-off. Aldi. So you can see here, obviously it's going to be a lot bigger on your phone because most folks are going to order Instacart from the app. They're not going to order the website. Shout out to anyone that's ordering Instacart from a .com website because I don't know who that is. But to me, what I'm doing is looking at who has the quickest delivery over here, and then I'm looking to see the item, and then if they have the quickest delivery. So I think from this standpoint, now if I just type in, what's something I bought recently? Lysol wipes. My kids are filthy. Lysol wipes, right? So Lysol wipes, they're going to have ads inside of here, right? So let's say I click on this one, right? And I'm trying to pull up an ad. So it's a little bit different in the desktop experience. In mobile, when you're inside the store, I'm not going to log in. When you're inside the store, there's room for product placements in ads with banner ads inside of that. So that's another great thing to look at because I historically don't click on ads on Amazon, like especially brand ads. It's not compelling to me, but I'm probably picky, but I do click on Instacart ads because it's telling me, because I'm hungry or I need to get something and it's telling me exactly what it is. So when you're selling something that's a consumable on here, the reason the person's opening up is because they need it right now. So you know the intent, the buyer intent is right now, right now, right now. So you don't want to talk about, living your best life down the road. Like, how is it going to help me right now? I think that's super important. And then lastly, TikTok shop. So
talk about ICPs specifically. I wanted to circle back to this. So glad we're getting to it in the last few minutes we have here. But with knowing your ICP, everyone knows on TikTok shop affiliate makes up between 70 to 85% of sales. But I think oftentimes we forget that optimizations are important on TikTok shop because that is what the consumer is going to see once they purchase. So John, can you just touch on one, why shouldn't we be sleeping on optimizations for TikTok shop and how should we look at them overall? Yeah.
So the biggest thing is TikTok shop. I say some areas in Amazon are the Wild West. TikTok shop is the wild West. There is literally almost nothing outside of, not safe for work things, and sometimes that goes a separate way, but you can do almost literally anything and everything over here. So when we're looking at this, and me and Delaney just figured out that you can actually look at TikTok shop on the desktop, but it just brings up the mobile version, which is good for this kind of talk track because we're showing what it would look like on mobile. So look at this laundry detergent. I thought that was castor oil. I didn't know that was laundry detergent. So when you're putting things up in the shop, you have to make it in your face, super, super clear about what it is. I know that that's a jacket or a zip up. I know she's not selling me the pants. You don't have to triple down on writing zip up jacket, but look at this right here. Randomly send, not for sale. What is that? What is not for sale? I don't know what that is, right? So when I come over here, not for sale, bling hair. So again, be cautious about what you're putting up in TikTok shop, that it's actually valid. But look at this one right here. Tempered screen glass, screen protectors. Everyone and their mother has these kind of things, right? They're jamming everything inside of here. Even if I clicked on it, I still can't read it. And a lot of this is probably going to be China Direct, especially with a sold by name like that. And they're selling a ton of them because an influencer just made a video because they're making, 50 cents on every single one. But understand that most of the transactions from TikTok shop are stemming from a video for an affiliate that created something, and they're going to hold it in their hands in the video, but then when they click on the link, you want the image that shows up to be transparent and clear, that that's exactly what the person had in the video, and there's no confusion about it. Because the worst thing in the world is if I clicked on a video for coconut oil and I get something like this, but I'm like, well, yeah, I just saw the person holding it. Can you show me something a little bit better? Can you show me some more information about it? Because if you're going to repeat the same thing, that's like having the second image on Amazon being a repeat of your hero image. They already saw that, right? I came here to learn more about it. So that's definitely something you'd want to do. And from what I'm seeing, people are, the hierarchy, at least in my eyes, is Amazon 1, TikTok Shop 2, Walmart and Instacart 3, because people are literally making money hand over fist on TikTok, which we're going to be coming out with one soon for PickFu. I don't think we have it just yet. I could be wrong. Hang tight.
Do you see, John, PickFu users testing UGC against each other and that being an effective strategy on just looking at the effectiveness of UGC for either affiliate videos or organic posts?
Yeah, so there's definitely, if you're running UGC content, or if you're looking to select a UGC creator, what I see a lot of people doing is getting the samples from their portfolios, and then before they hire them, they're running PickFu. Who would you rather buy a skin cream from on TikTok? This person or this person? So they're making the better decision when they're working with a creator, because, hey, some people speak really well. Some people look really well. Some people do both. Some people. So it's all about who it resonates with. So if I'm selling, dog shampoo, and I'm a creator, and I don't even have a dog, or I really know anything about dogs, versus a creator that has a dog with them and stuff like that, and is all talking about content about dogs, it's going to resonate different.
Definitely. No, that's a great call. And I apologize that we weren't able to get to some of our packaging renderings, as well as some Amazon click tests. But that only means, John, that you'll have to join me twice in 2025 rather than once like you did in 2024. So
I talk too much, and you got to stop me when I start talking too much.
No, that was incredibly helpful. And I'm glad we took an omni-channel spin at things, because I think that is definitely an aspect of PickFu that people should be leveraging more, but also even outside of PickFu, just looking at your optimization strategies outside of Amazon is often missed. So appreciate you joining, John. And you're going to be at Prosper, right?
I'm speaking at Prosper.
You're speaking at Prosper. There we go. Are you speaking on some of these topics?
I'm speaking at for CTR and how to get the better click. So if you want a better click, you're going to be at Prosper. Come see me. Giving out $5,000 PickFu credits to everyone I talk to. I'm just kidding. Don't get me started. I'm just kidding.
There we go. And if you do have more questions about retail media, VENDO does run retail media advertising across Instacart and other platforms. So appreciate the call out there, John. And I will just look forward to having you back on.
You gotta. I love it. Thanks.
Sounds good. Thanks, John. Have a great day, everyone. Bye.